Cloudcast Media.
Drew Schlosberg Spotlight on the Community Show, amplifying the voices of social impact organizations, entrepreneurs, local nonprofits, and other community champions who shape the culture, creativity, and connectivity of San Diego. Brought to you by Mission Fed Credit Union, bringing good things to San Diego for over 60 years. Learn more about what is good for you and good for all by visiting www.missionfed.com.
I'm Drew Schlosberg of Cloudcast Media. It is a great day when my good friend, long-time person who's been on our Spotlight shows, done it many times. I haven't seen her in about 2 or 3 years. I can't believe it.
I know.
Looks exactly the same, looks terrific, full of energy, is a good person doing great things in the community.
Stop it. Go on.
Okay, exactly. And she's going to take over the show and tell more about her life, and I'll be back in a half hour. It's Kristen Fogle. She's the executive director of San Diego Writers, Inc. When I first met Kristen, her now 4-year-old was 2 weeks?
I don't know. I was telling you, I was so puffy and it just,
you look great, and it's such a great
Thank
vibe. Good to see you. And how's the family doing?
Family's great. Everything's great. It's so good to be back and see you and see our good friend Charles, and the studio looks fantastic.
Thank you. I know Mission Fed is sponsoring the Spotlight show now and growing shows by left and right. I know you and Charles are cooking up something, as you always do when you get together. And it'll be cool to see what that's going to be. Talk about San Diego Writers, Inc. What's your mission and how long have you been doing it?
Yeah, so San Diego Writers, Inc., we are a nonprofit, and we serve writers of all different genres and levels, and we kind of aim to be this literary hub of the community. So that kind of morphed and changed over the pandemic, but we still have a presence at Liberty Station. We have one space there where we do classes and writing programs, free and low cost, and then I would say that still probably about 75 to 80% of our programming is online because writers like their pajamas. So they don't want to leave the house.
No, I understand that. But was it online before the pandemic?
No. Mm-mm.
Right. So, and here's one great example of, we didn't really have a choice. You had to go online, but you found something that, boy, we never knew this. Tell me about what the challenges are, and instead of being face-to-face when talking about things that are very emotional, writing and all that, versus doing it virtually, or there really isn't much of a drop-off?
There's a difference. There's a difference when I teach online. It's a little bit harder in that respect. As far as writers go, I don't know. There's a different energy being in the room with people, obviously.
Right.
But, we were able to get people from all over the globe. I had someone in my classes that was stuck in Portugal, and so he just did classes from Portugal. And now we've kind of reached out, and we have a presence everywhere. People in Detroit know who we are. I think
that's fantastic. So what got you into doing this? I mean, when you were literally said, I'm going to be the world's greatest novelist, or I'm going to be a ballerina, or
when I was a little girl, I was like, I want to be an executive director someday. I want to boss people around. No, I was a magazine writer, and I was working at home for most of my career, and honestly just got tired of staring at my dog and found Writers, Inc. and started working there. And shortly after, the executive director position opened up, and that was almost 10 years ago. So
that is wild, right? So that's funny, boss people around. So now
I am bossy. I have leadership skills.
I think it's your kid that bosses you.
He's bossy too.
Right, exactly. So right in that aspect of it. But have you always been interested in writing? Have you done that since you've been young, or something that you really gravitated to?
Yeah, I talk about this a little bit, and I think in most of my books, I started out journaling, just embarrassing entries, and graduated on to writing full-length horror about my classmates. And then I did a really embarrassing Dr. Love column in high school where I thought no one knew who I was, and I was this sassy Southern woman and everything would answer that way. And everyone was like, that's Kristen Fogle. And I was like, what? How do you know? They're like, you're the only person that would do
Isn't that beautiful that they know you so well on that?
Just knew it was me. I wasn't fooling anybody. And then I took the magazine gigs. I was working in Beverly Hills for a while and doing that, and came to San Diego and still doing magazine stuff. So it's just always, writing has been a part of my life forever, my entire career.
Right. So we're chatting with Kristen Fogle. She's the executive director of San Diego Writers, Inc. I'm Drew Schlosberg of Cloudcast Media. and I'm not sure how to even phrase this. Is this a good writer's town? Is this a good place for writers to be? Or is that, well, Drew, any place is a great place for writers to be?
I love that question. I think, just the sheer amount of people that come to events and come to our programs and talk about how much they've always wanted to write things. Yeah, this is a great writer's town. There's so much talent here.
I'm so glad to hear that because, there's certain things that I think are whether you live here, I imagine whether you live in Mozambique or whatever, I know I can. There's a novel in me somewhere, for God's sake, or there's a screenplay in me, or there is a something in me. It always goes back to writing in that aspect of it. So I don't know too many people that say, I don't want to do this, especially when it comes to the writing genre.
Right. And I mean, you're getting really big too. I try to get a little granular when I teach. I don't think you need to create the great American screenplay or the next novel.
Right.
I'm trying to get people to just put their experiences on paper. I mean, look at how everything that's going on in the world right now. Just write about it. I mean, there's so many stories out there.
Do you work with people that do screenplays, or is it pretty much focused on novels and fiction? And
No, we're all over the board. We have playwriting, screenwriting, poetry, novel writing, memoir is really big, short story. So.
So I'm going to talk about my story. My buddy and I started this in 1983. It's called The Rule of One.
That was the year I was born. Go on.
I was 4. Exactly. No, my IQ was 4.
So talented.
That's right. It is amazing, isn't it? But it's called The Rule of One, and we're all fired up about it. We got 2 pages in, and here we are, almost 40 years later. We're still on page 2. But we had all our friends that said, it was a screenplay. I want to pick this role over here. I said, can we just get past the title page and all that? So maybe I got to take your class, and so I can go past page 2.
It's hard, right? I mean, our good friend Jill Hall, it took her 10 years to pen her book. Yeah. So, I mean, just got to get back at it.
Yeah. No, yeah, exactly. Then we started, screwing around and said, I don't think we want to work on this. Let's do X, Y, and Z. Listen, in all seriousness, talk about that. Is when you talk about writers and you meet with writers and you find out where they are, I'm sure you meet them at the place they're at.
Yes.
Do you talk about here's what you need to do, here's the commitment you need to do if you're really serious about it, or you say, hey, listen, take it whatever way you can do it?
I just usually offer a bunch of different suggestions. Here's what's worked for me. Here's what's worked for other professionals. I think the most important thing is if you want to write, you do have to do it. You have to sit down. And I got low expectations. I mean, 2 minutes a day, 2 minutes a week, commit to something, anything.
But that's important.
It is. You've got to do it. Carve out some time to do some writing if that's important to you.
Right. Exactly. And so how do they find the classes you offer? SanDiegoWritersInc.com.org. How do they get a hold of you?
So close. It's SanDiegoWriters.org.
Yeah, it's in the notes here, and I don't know how to read, for God's sake.
That's fine. That's what I'm here for.
Yeah, exactly. So you got your Fall for Writing Conference.
We do.
November 11 to 14. Talk about that.
I'm so excited about it. We have, I think, 14 different classes, and some of them are online and some of them are in person because some people still prefer one over the other. So trying to help everybody out here. But it's really just a chance to sample some of our different classes. So they're each an hour and 45-minute classes. They're taught by all our regular instructors. And you can do, I think we have a playwriting course. We have story structure. We have poetry and memoir. Just samplings across the board. So, if you were interested in taking something, but you don't want to sign up for a full whatever.
Right.
I mean, it's an hour and 45 minutes. If you just bought the course itself, it's $20.
Wow.
If you buy the entire thing, which includes all 14 classes and a bunch of other readings and places where you can write and opportunities like that, it's $99.
Wow, it's a great deal.
So, it's 4 days. You can come to some or none, but it's a fundraiser for us. All our amazing instructors donate their time.
Nice.
But then they can advertise their books, their courses, things like that. And so it's really just a great way to meet new people and have the writing community come together.
Right. Now, will that be the in-person parts at Liberty Station where you are?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
We're in Barracks 16 upstairs. Yeah.
Okay. Right. Exactly. And so does it sell out? I mean, obviously the virtual one won't sell out, but the one that's in person, so people better sign up now?
They'd better sign up now. And I'm not just saying that as a, for
Sure
a
you
limited
are.
time only. I mean, there's some of that, yes. But but no, I mean, we have a classroom space. We can only take about 30 people. So, and we used to have 3 spaces before and run concurrent programming, but we really do have limited room. So if you are interested in something in person, I recommend it. The online is not going to sell out, but
Correct. Right.
But yeah, if you're interested in something in person in particular, please go on the website. And
Yeah,
sign up.
and we were talking about that earlier. I think there's, you sort of feed off the energy of not only just the instructor, but the person that's sitting next to you in this as well. And there's something to be said about that. When we come back from a break, we'll talk a little more about the Fall for Writing Conference and then your writing retreat at Mission San Luis Rey in Oceanside on the 10th, and need to talk about Mom's Life Story Journal.
We do.
That is, we'll definitely do that. And there's a Dad's Life Story Journal too?
Yeah, I'm leaving no one out here.
Okay, very good. Now, who wrote that? Did you write that?
I wrote that. Wait,
So
do you think they gave it to? Yeah, I wrote the book.
I was going to see if you gave it to a male to write that.
I didn't. No,
Okay.
it's just
Why would
me.
you share, right?
Well, it was offered to me by my publisher. Who am I to turn them down?
You would be foolish to turn them down.
Yes.
We're going to be right back with Kristen Fogle, Executive Director of the San Diego Writers Inc. I'm Drew Schlosberg, and you've been listening to Drew Schlosberg Spotlight on the Community Show on Cloudcast Media, brought to you by Mission Fed Credit Union, bringing great things to San Diegans for more than 60 years. We will be right back.
When you do your banking with Mission Fed, you get great rates on auto and home loans. That's good for you, but something good also happens for a lot of other people. We're not for profit, so we put money back into the community to help lots of great nonprofits to keep San Diego strong. So you're not just getting something good, you're doing something good. Come to Mission Fed. It's banking that's good for all.
Brand amplification is the DNA of Cloudcast Media, and our code is the powerful blending of sound, voice, and storytelling to lift local brands and their communities. Whether it is our Brandcast, Schoolcast, or Causecast platforms, the unifying ethos is all about this community, the one you call home. If you dare to dream and want to explore the brand amplification of Cloudcast, a national leader in local podcasting and other Winfluence strategies, please visit us at cloudcast.us.
I'm Drew Schlosberg of Cloudcast Media, and we are back with the inimitable Kristen Fogle. I can call her friend, colleague, cool cat, and all that business. She is the executive director of the San Diego Writers Inc. So good to see you. The vibe has not changed at all, which is a good thing for our listeners. We're talking about the Fall for Writing Conference on November 11 to 14, but you got a writing retreat coming up on December 10. Talk about that.
Yeah, we do. So Judy Reeves, who helped start San Diego Writers Inc.
Right.
She is co-facilitating this retreat with me. We did it last year because I love Mission San Luis Rey. I went to Catholic school growing up, and I just have this kind of interesting affinity for the missions in general.
Sure.
And so I shouldn't tell people this, but they offer quiet days at the mission. So
Really?
any number of days a week, you can reserve a spot there. You get your own room. They feed you. It's $35. And so I go and write there pretty often.
So can you just meditate there?
You can do whatever you want there. I
Really?
mean, I go to write and get stuff done.
That is
and
so interesting.
Be fed. So after doing that for several years, I thought, wow, it'd be so fun to offer a retreat here. It's so beautiful, and it's just kind of this departure in the middle of Oceanside inland there. So
It is. Nice place.
yeah, so last December, Judy and I offered something there, and we call it more of like a generative retreat, which means you go and we're giving prompts, and then you're generating material from that.
Is it all day? You don't spend the night, right?
No, we don't spend the night. You can't spend the night there. I've done that before. That's really interesting.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. Why don't you offer an overnight thing?
I don't know, Drew. We'll get there.
Exactly.
One
My
thing
job
at a
is
time.
You
just want to push me.
I do. I want to create work. Your 4-year-old called me earlier today and said,
good.
"Push mom."
Oh, nice. Yeah, he would. He would do that.
Yeah, exactly. So what time does it start?
So it's 9 to 4. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
And so we give you writing exercises all day. There'll be some time if you want to slink away and do kind of your own thing, you can do that. But this is another fundraiser for the organization.
Nice.
So Judy and I donate our time, and it's relatively low cost. I believe it's about $100 also.
Okay.
And again, you get fed and get to be in beauty and surroundings with other writers, and it's going to be great.
Right. So is it similar in the sense from the event, the fall writing deal, where there's different topics, different genres like memoirs and so forth, or is it more specific to certain types of writing?
Yeah, no, I'm glad you compared the two because they are vastly different. So there will not be different topics. It'll just be Judy and I being there with everyone and giving different prompts and writing and sharing and all of that sort of good stuff. So
no, that's all good. We're chatting with Kristen Fogle, Executive Director of San Diego Writers, Inc. I'm Drew Schlosberg of Cloudcast Media. Okay, how many books have you written?
4 in 3 years.
That is very impressive.
Thank you.
That is very, very impressive. And I'm staring at one of them, Mom's Life Story Journal. When did this come out? This year, right?
Yes, earlier this year. I think February, the Mom's Life Story Journal came out. March,
Okay.
The Dad's Life Journal.
Right, and we're going to get to that.
Sure.
And say, so you put on, well, we'll get to that in a second. So the Mom's Life Story Journal, what prompted you to do this? I mean, you've been a mom now for 4 years, right?
I have, yeah.
And so you go, and I think I need to do this. This will help all moms. It can help dads too, though, I imagine.
Yeah, it was my humanitarian goal. Well, sort of. I mean, I did want to write about being a mom or create a journal for moms, but my publisher contacted me and said, hey, do you want to write a mom's life story journal and a dad counterpart? And I said, I have some stuff to say about that. So I did.
So, but it's basically based on prompts. Obviously, you have a little, you know, a bunch of chapters and all that, you know. Was one I'm staring at now, Family Traditions and Memories. And I really applaud you for this because you go, I'm going to remember what my kid did. I can't remember how to dress myself in the morning, for God's sake.
Right.
So write it down when it happens, correct?
Yeah. I mean, the interesting thing about these books too, which I think differs from other moms' journals is, look, I'm a bunch of other things besides a mom. So there's one chapter that's devoted to your child. The rest is your life story. So there are, you know, chapters about community and about family traditions and about what you did when you were young and stuff like that. So it's very focused on the person, not just you as mom, which can be one of my pet peeves, being a mom.
Right. But do you give them hints of what you should write down? Or you say, you write down whatever comes from your heart? Or does it make a difference?
I mean, there are questions in there that are really targeted, but I try to keep it as open as possible. So look, this is for, you know, different types of families. Maybe you have 2 moms in your family. Maybe, you know, you're an adopted mom.
Or 2 dads, right?
Yeah, maybe it took you a long time to conceive. And, you know, so I made this really open to all sorts of different families.
Right. So, okay, got Mom's Life Story Journal, and then shortly thereafter, Dad's Life Story Journal, or did you write them at the same time?
I was writing them at the same time and then changing language here and there.
Okay, right. So you don't go, hey, I can get 2 books out of this. I'm going to change 4 words on this sentence over here. Right. I go, very smart over on this. So what's the big change in it? Did you ask your husband for ideas on the dad side?
No.
Right. And why would you? Right, exactly.
No. I mean, lots of the topics were very similar. Obviously, things about pregnancy and things like that were taken out or changed very slightly. But,
right.
You know, we're all humans trying to get through a human experience. So it's, you know, it was pretty easy to change it.
How much of this in your Mom's Life Story Journal and the Dad's Life Story Journal do you bring in, you know, what the pandemic has done to us? And it has, I mean, in many different ways. Is that part of this at all or not really?
That's a really interesting question.
Should have thought about that before you wrote it.
Where were you? Where were you a year ago when I was trying to write this?
You didn't give me a call, Kristen.
I know. I should have. Before every book I pen, I call Drew.
That's right. That'll then do the opposite and we'll be successful. Exactly.
I mean, there are places in there, like what are some of the most impactful things that have happened during X point in your life. So there are certainly places in there to write about.
And I'm not saying this that we have to harbor on this.
Yeah.
But this is, you know, at least for us folks who have lived through it, is a game changer
Absolutely.
in so many different ways. You almost can't, from whether it's healthcare, whether it's education, whether it's pick a topic, food insecurity. Man, this thing, and it's still going on. We all know that. It doesn't mean you have to belabor it. I'm one of these guys say, okay, how do we make this better? How do you do that? And so forth. So, that's it. How many books, how many of the writers you think were inspired by the pandemic and now became writers because they wanted to get either a story of them out or how you can deal with it? Has that happened?
Yeah. And I mean, perfect example of that is I had the privilege of being the managing director for the San Diego Decameron project, where people wrote about their experiences during the pandemic.
Interesting.
So San Diego Writers Inc., the San Diego Public Library, Write Out Loud, and La Jolla Historical Society. We worked on this for about, a year and a half creating this thing. So
really?
We have this book of over 100 stories that people submitted.
Is it out now?
It's out now, yeah.
What's the name of it?
It's called the San Diego Decameron Project.
Okay, and how do you get that? Amazon? Is it on Amazon?
I believe it's on Amazon. You can also contact us, and I have several copies in my office, but it's worth a read.
San Diego Writers Inc. Okay, interesting.
It runs the gamut, all sorts of different stories from different walks of life, but all San Diegans that we're experiencing.
Yeah, you mentioned Write Out Loud, and of course, how do you not smile when you mention those guys?
I know, I love them.
They are how they doing?
They're great, I think. I'd love to do more collaborations with them.
Yeah, they're on the show quite a bit, and in phenomenal work that they do as well. But all you guys in that aspect. Be remiss if we didn't shout out our friend you mentioned earlier, Jilly Bean Hall, and working on her 4th book, as a matter of fact.
I know. She's so talented.
Yeah, she's very, very, very good in that aspect of it. So we've got about a minute or so to go.
Short. It always just flies with you, Drew. You know?
It does. It does, because you can't wait to get out of here. No, that's not true. No, I'm teasing. I'm teasing when I say that, because it's we could easily make this a 60-minute interview, and if whether our listeners like it or not doesn't make a difference. It's whether
we're having fun. Yes.
We're having fun, and it's all about us. No, I think when you're talking about this stuff, which is so important, so impactful for people, I'm sure you've changed a lot of lives, and man, this has really been good for me to write for whatever reason.
Yeah.
I think that's perfect. We got the Fall Writing Conference, November 11th to the 14th. We got the Mission San Luis Rey Writing Retreat on December the 10th. How do people get your journals?
They can contact me, so KristenFogle.com or SanDiegoWriters.org, and I'm also on Amazon. So lots of different ways. Okay. All your local retailers will carry said book.
Kristen Fogle, so great seeing your smiling face again. Looking forward to having you back on sooner than later.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Why don't we do this next time? Why don't you bring in somebody that has benefited from some of the workshops you've done?
Oh, let's do it.
Okay, we're going to do that. We're going to make sure of that, and say hi to Jilly Bean Hall for me, and we'll get you back on sooner than later.
Thanks so much, Drew.
My pleasure. Talking to Kristen Fogle. She is the Executive Director of San Diego Writers Inc. I'm Drew Schlosberg, and you've been listening to Drew Schlosberg's Spotlight on the Community Show on Cloudcast Media, brought to you by Mission Fed Credit Union, bringing terrific things to San Diegans for more than 60 years.
You've been listening to an episode of Drew Schlosberg's Spotlight on the Community Show, amplifying the voices of social impact organizations, entrepreneurs, local nonprofits, and other community champions who shape the culture, creativity, and connectivity of San Diego community. Brought to you by Mission Fed Credit Union, bringing good things to San Diego for over 60 years. Learn more about what is good for you and good for all by visiting www.missionfed.com.
Cloudcast Media.